You know that Zimbabwe, since its birth in 1980, has been grappling with vicious cycles of disputed elections. We enter into the shadows of the next election. The fundamental question and the big national question in this juncture facing Zimbabweans and political parties and the general public is what is happening to the reform questions. You know that in 2018, Zimbabweans in the Democratic Alternative participated in an election. That election, by all standards, was a disputed election. We are getting into another election. The logical national question at this particular historic moment is what has happened to the reform agenda. The reforms, for the purpose of those who have not followed Zimbabweans electoral politics, are not just reforms demanded for and advocated for by political parties. There were recommendations in 2018 from Zimbabwe's different civic society groups. There were recommendations by the church and its different coalitions. There were also recommendations around important fundamental reforms by the European Union, by SADC, by the African Union, and the Carter Center, and different other observers who are accredited in 2018. The big question, therefore, is to what extent has Zimbabwe been able to implement these fundamental reforms? And these have a bearing not just to political parties contesting, but also have a bearing to the legitimacy of those who govern. Because politics, as you know, is about a social contract, the relationship between those who govern and those that are being governed. We extract this social contract by participating in election. And Zimbabwe's elections are competitive by their definition in the constitution and the electoral law. And therefore, when you invite election, you are inviting competition. That's why Zimbabwe is a multi-party constitutional democracy. So the fundamental question that we are facing is, where are we with these reforms? Parliament has tabled a bill that we as CCC have engaged on, both in our different capacities in terms of our technical elections and, of course, our parliamentary engagement. We have certain reservations with the bill. We have certain problems with the process. We have certain problems with the output. But we feel that Zimbabwe still has a room to have reforms. We think that those who are interested in the credibility of Zimbabwe and ending Zimbabwe's international isolation, we must be able to have reforms. Therefore, I would bring our Secretary for Elections to come and address the media in terms of the content and our feelings and thought as a movement in relation to this bill. Then after that, would also invite our Member of Parliament who has been doing sterling work, in particular to give perspective in terms of what we think must be done. Because, as I've said, there is still room and time for us to resolve that.